The Battle of the Tagliamento, fought on March 16, 1797, was a brisk but strategically pivotal clash in Napoleon Bonaparte's first Italian campaign, coming after his winter victories at Rivoli and Mantua and immediately following his February armistice with the Papal States, eager to carry the war onto Habsburg soil before Archduke Charles could consolidate. Bonaparte advanced 40,000 men in 3 columns, Masséna's and Gueux's divisions on the left, Bernadotte's in the center, and Serrier's following in reserve, toward the rain-swollen Tagliamento River, a twisting 170-kilometer torrent that snakes across Friuli's gravel plain toward the Adriatic. Archduke Charles had about 30,000 effectives, including the seasoned grenadiers of the Kaiser infantry and light Croatian Grenadiers, positioned behind fieldworks anchored on the villages of Spilimbergo and Valvasone, with cavalry screens patrolling likely fords. His intent was to force a delay that would let siege material arrive from Carniola and block the mountain roads into Inner Austria. Napoleon, valuing speed over method, ordered his engineers to convert every fishing boat, hay wagon, and timber plank in the vicinity into pontoon components while dispatching cavalry feints upriver toward Gemona to pin Austrian scouts. At first light on March 16 thick ground fog mingled with sleet, muffling the French approach. Masséna's advance guard, 6th Light and 18th Line demi-brigades, reached the left bank opposite Bonzicco, where the river broadened into a braid of shallow channels. Covered by 48-pounder guns firing blind through the mist, French sappers assembled 2 trestle bridges in less than an hour. At 10 a.m. grenadiers waded across waist-deep water. Muskets and cartridge boxes held overhead, shouting "En avant, pour la République." Moments later Bernadotte's troops found an abandoned ferry landing near Gradisca and began pushing pontoons across, effectively outflanking the Austrian right. Charles responded with alacrity, sending Lieutenant Field Marshal Oxgay with the Bonnat-Grentz regiment and 4-horse batteries to retake Bonzicco, but muddy ground slowed the imperial counterstroke, and a sudden French cavalry thrust by 10th Chasseurs à cheval overran the Austrian guns, turning them on their former owners. By noon the weather had cleared enough for French artillery observers to direct plunging fire onto Austrian positions at Valvasone, igniting supply wagons and stampeding draft horses. Simultaneously, General Gueux's column appeared on the Austrian left after a forced march through the hamlets of Cadroipo and Varmo, amplifying pressure along a 6-kilometer front. Recognizing the danger of encirclement, Charles ordered a fighting retreat toward Udine, sacrificing the 3rd Battalion of the Deutschmeister Regiment to hold the bridge at Camino until dusk. French hussars cut that rearguard off, capturing 16 colors, 23 guns, and some 3,000 prisoners. French losses were estimated at roughly 1,000 killed and wounded, among them Colonel Jean Lannes, lightly hit by shrapnel, while the Austrians suffered about 1,500 combat casualties in addition to their captured. The psychological repercussions mattered more than the numbers. The Tagliamento, expected to be a formidable natural wall, had been breached within hours, convincing Viennese ministers that Napoleon might reach the Semmering Pass before spring defenses were ready. Allied morale in northern Italy collapsed, Venetian neutrality wavered, and Napoleon's corps sped through Friuli, occupying Udine on March 17, Gradisca on the 18th, and the key Piave crossings by the 20th. By April 7 his vanguard stood at Klagenfurt inside Carinthia. The ensuing armistice of Leoben on April 18, which led to October's Treaty of Campo Formio, ceded the Austrian Netherlands and Lombardy to France and redrew the map of Central Europe. In retrospect, the Battle of the Tagliamento encapsulated Bonaparte's operational creed: relentless pursuit, rapid engineer-led river crossings, dispersed but convergent columns, and aggressive cavalry exploitation, turning a swollen spring river, thought impassable for weeks, into merely another expedited stepping stone on his audacious drive toward Vienna and the reinvention of European geopolitics.